And so Harvard allegedly just proved that every AI gives the same bad business advice, and this has been called trend slop. So researchers ran 15,000 simulations across 7 frontier models, GPT-5, Claude, Gemini, Grok, and they all clustered around exactly the same answer. Not the right one, the trendy one. Turns out your $200 a month strategy consultant is a junior MBA that just reached too much LinkedIn, which, if you saw last week's episode, was written by AI anyway. So it's reinforcement slop matrix, essentially, where the slop just becomes a high percentage of the total information in it. So it's a kind of reinforcing slop loop, so to speak.
Dude,
So-
how... Oh, sorry, do you have more? Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro. I'll find the right.
How convenient is it that the school that pushes out the most consultants releases a study all about how the main threat to consultants isn't actually as good as they think it is? No shit, Sherlock. Oh, it's not as good, and oh, it's bad business advice. It's like, we ran 15,000, one second, put on my monocle, simulations. And it's like, bro, you copied and pasted the prompt 2,000 times per model.
Which was,
and you're trying to use this to say that, like, it's not good at giving business advice. I mean, like, would I ask it for, like, business or relationship advice right now?
Absolutely.
In general. Hey, what should I do with my life? It's like, probably not shit like that, But like a specific business scenario, like, what are you, nuts? Of course, dude. This thing can freaking beat 99.9% of the world on, like, mathematical reasoning and stuff. Of course, I have no reason to think that it would not give me okay advice at various situations.
100%. It's like, ask stupid questions, get stupid answers, right? So let me just add a little bit of detail onto this as well for us to chat about. So I think it's important to bear this in mind. Okay, so LLMs learn sentiment from text they're trained on. We know this, commoditization. Shows up in negative context online. So the interesting bit that we found here is that there was 15,000 business strategy questions with 2 competing options: short-term versus long-term growth. Do we automate? Do we augment? Do we consolidate? Do we diversify? The models didn't just lean one way, they all leaned the same way. Every model preferred augmentation over automation. They preferred long-term over short-term, and trendy managerial language over context-specific answers. The researchers' verdict was, an LLM is not the colleague who critically evaluates ideas. They don't look at contextual specifics, and they don't stress test assumption. LLMs are more akin to a freshly minted MBA or junior consultant parroting what's popular other than what's right. Your CEO AI assistant has become the same reading as everyone else. And I'll just say there was some commentary on this that effectively, if you think about how deplorable Reddit commentary is, that effectively the AI is essentially just an amalgam of all of the trash content in the world put into one mega slop machine that's giving you advice. What's my take on this? I think that you could ask AI any question and make it sound idiotic, 100%. There is no question in my mind that I have become profoundly more productive, I'd say even more intelligent since using AI. But you've got to know the right questions to ask it. I would never say to AI, hey, what's the answer? Solve this business question for me, right? You have to critically challenge it. I think the key thing is it's good for expanding your perspective, giving you ideas, but you can't delegate control to it. So I think this is both correct and incorrect at the same time. And very interesting findings. And again, it's a good question that we're not asking at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough. Let me just feed that into Opus 4.6 and see what that has to say about
What did it say?
before I make my decision. Yeah. No, man, there's obviously truths to the fact that it's trained on the whole internet. And then, like the median IQ is 100 or whatever, which means 50% of people are dumber than that. And they're a big chunk of the freaking internet. Absolutely. So it's like a lot of the advice is going to be pattern matched and whatnot. But the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And I think, as mentioned, if you know the right questions to ask and how to enumerate all of the possible different ways to do something, you can achieve a lot of like mental reasoning and analysis in a much shorter period of time, just handing it off to an AI. Look, I'll give you an example. One of the reasons why I made what is probably my most successful piece of content today is because I built a system that went through a bunch of different search terms, a bunch of different like market needs and sentiments, and what I would consider to be the gaps in the market for specific types of content. And I went through and it churned for honestly, an hour and a half or something, and it consumed like $400 worth of my usage. And at the end of it, I had what I would consider to be like probably the most concise, high ROI one pager I've ever gotten from AI. It's just like, you should probably talk about XYZ thing. Here's my reasoning. What do you think? And then I was just like, maybe here or there. I went back and forth a little bit. And then I was just like, yeah, okay. So I took that idea, which was maybe 80% formed, and then I just added 20% to it. And it's like easily my most successful piece of content today. And that was entirely because of AI. So in the context of like business strategy, like this is my current main business right now, right? It drives the majority of my income. And that advice was like crucial. So, I mean, I don't mean to, be the guy swinging his dick around, but I'm curious the sorts of businesses that the people and the analysts that were running this sort of thing were doing. It's one thing to be academic about it and theoretical about it, right? But it's another thing to ask yourself, like, what are people actually using this for right now in the real world? Guarantee that's making more money than they're probably making with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's almost like firing a rifle at a shooting range versus in the battlefield. Like you just use it in different contexts, right?
Yeah.